Hey everybody, welcome to our live. I am Heather and we come to you live each and every day. So you learn more about Luminess, what we have to offer, all the goodness of Luminess. So not only is it skincare, it is color cosmetics, and of course you know us for our airbrushing. And so that's what we're going to do today. We do it every day too, but we are going to talk about coverage. I think it's super important because when I do my classes, coverage is something that is discussed a lot, and people say, "Oh, I'm not getting the coverage that I want," and there is an art to airbrushing, and so we're going to go over that because you may not be getting the coverage that you're wanting because of the application, how you're applying it. So we're going to go over that. And then you may need another, I call it pre-coverage, another little something. Good morning, Debbie. You may need another little something to kind of boost up that coverage. And we do have a lot of products that maybe overlap. And so I want to go over those with you as well. This is a live. Hey, Marilyn, this is live. This is live. Hope everybody's doing well on this Monday. I was out last week, so I apologize. Hey, Sharonda, how are you? Hey, Pam, good morning. But this is live. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. And luckily, I had a little mark show up on my cheek right here, so we'll be able to cover that bad boy. Good morning, Cindy. Good morning, Linda from New Orleans. New Orleans. So let's go over that. So we always like to go over the beginnings because I know that a lot of people either got the system for the holidays or have ordered it, waiting on it. So we're going to go over the beginnings. So let's, let me get one of this is our icon. We also have the icon Pro and the Legend. And of course we have the Breeze. And then it all comes with makeup. So depending on when you ordered it, you may have gotten some free products, some gift with purchase or something like that. But it's going to come with at least with the 2 bottles of foundation, Love and blush. And our Love is super high pigmented. A little bit goes a long way. So don't overdo it with that. And you'll only use about 2 drops. And then the Love is something you may not use every day, but you're gonna love it. And that is, it gives you like a glow or a luminosity, a young, youthful glow that we all love. But try mixing it in with your foundation. Try doing, you can even mix it in with your foundation. I do the foundation probably more in the summer than I do the winter, but it does give your skin some luminosity. So when you're starting out, you want to make sure you are holding this 4 finger widths away, guys. 4 finger widths away. And that might sound silly and you're like, why? But this is going to be that perfect distance to get that perfect application, that flawless application. So keep moving the stylus. And then the other thing you're going to want to practice is barely pulling back on the trigger. That is another thing that you're definitely going to want to do is barely pull back, because we know how airbrushing is different than traditional. How you apply it is also different. So, and what you're going to expect is different as well. Does cold weather affect the makeup? Like on how it goes on? No. No, Marilyn, it as long as you're not putting it on outside if it's freezing, but no, it's not going to affect it. Hello, everybody. Did I see that Luminess was on? I think I did. Hey, Jeannie, how are you? Oh, hey, Martin. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I am going to wipe this a little bit. I'll wipe underneath my eyes so you can really see it. And my redness. Right there. But see, yeah, this little guy. Hey, let's pop up. Sure, come on. And then we'll go over the coverage. So I am going to start off with the CC concealer in light beige. Now, keep in mind, hello, Luminess. Keep in mind that everything you put on that has a pigment is going to give you, oh, yay, Renee's waiting on hers. I'm so excited. It is very exciting. Everything you put on is going to give you coverage if it has pigment in it, okay? So the moisturizer primer, the porcelain, that doesn't have pigment in it, so that's not going to give you coverage, okay? So if you're first starting out, the very first thing I want you to do is just watch yourself in the mirror, get the movement down with the stylus or the breeze, whichever one you're getting, and just make sure you're that 4-finger whisk away. And then you're barely going to pull back on the trigger. If it feels wet or sticky, you're pulling back too hard. If you are going through those 5, 6, 7 drops, then you're pulling back too hard. So I can do 8 drops in my stylus or my breeze and get full coverage with that. So know that that's what you're going to get up to, okay? So don't think you're going to be an expert the very first time. So know that we're going to walk you through it. That's why I do these every day. That's why we have them on every single day. And so if you are having trouble when you're doing it, come back, guys. This isn't just a yay cheer section. I want to help you. I want to help you. And there's a lot of people on here that have done the same thing, that have sprayed too heavy, have done same thing. I mean, there's nothing. I've been doing this for 25 years. There's pretty much nothing you can tell me that I haven't heard and I can't solve. Okay. So I am going to use my breeze, and I'm hoping it's charged. So I might have to switch over here. No, you'll actually, I spoke to a friend that I've known for a very long time, and she said the exact, she's like, I can never go back to regular makeup. It is like, it feels so heavy and that you will love it. Okay, so starting with my breeze, I am going in with the CC concealer. With the CC concealers are one of the higher coverage. It comes in 5 different shades. So depending on what you need to cover, the deepness, the depth, whatever it is, there's different levels of pre-coverage. The first one is eraser. That can help out, help erase the redness. The next step up is X out. The next one is CC concealer or the color correctors, whatever you prefer. So if you are wanting a little bit more coverage because you think you need, you have some spots that popped up or some rosacea or some sunspots, then you're going to want that pre-coverage, okay? So I put about 3 drops in my breeze. I'm turning on my system, and I'm going in and I'm going to hit those problem areas. But at the same time, I'm going to boop, boop, do it under my eyes, T-zone, in this area. When I say hit those problem areas, it's not a matter of just going, no, we're making passes. We're making passes. Miss Willis says, I have a problem with it running when I sweat. So chances are you are spraying too heavy and putting it on maybe too heavy, okay? I'm going to put a few more drops in here because I want to show you, I can make it look good and spray heavy, but if it's too heavy, then it will run. If you're putting it on the correct way, it's like light passes. It's more like your skin, okay? What is good for fine lines? Pretty much anything you can do. So like the CC concealers, what you definitely want to moisturize, because what happens with the fine lines and wrinkles, fine lines, I have a little distraction today. The fine lines and wrinkles, we need to plump those up, okay? So, and you're going to spray super light. Yes, and along with the sweating, if you sweat, definitely do the final seal. Definitely do the final seal. I use the final seal a lot. All right, so have my drops in here. If you are putting it on like this, then see this? I don't know if you can see that, but it's wet, it's sticky. I can leave my fingerprints on it, and that's not what we want. You want to put it on so light that it dries instantly, okay? It should not be wet or anything like that. There should not be any dry time in between. All right, so I did my little paper towel, make sure that's dry, and then I'm gonna go in. I'm using 8 drops and doing the passes with success, but I need to keep refilling it. So 8 drops is all you need. Even if it's full coverage, that's all you need. So make sure, and I know that's hard. Even for me, it was hard to think about that because I'm like, 8 drops, Mom, I need some more makeup. If you're doing it correctly, you should not have to go over the 8 drops. Now, in the beginning, if you need to do it, that's okay. But every time you have this in your hand, you're learning, okay? And you will get to those 8 drops. But you don't want to see it go on. All right? I know it sounds weird, but just trust the process. Trust the process. And I'm going to show you a way to understand that as well. All right, can y'all see this redness? I know I have, and then I have some bags under my eyes. I'm going to look up, go back and forth, then pull back on my trigger, making my passes. And I still need to cover that red dot a little bit more, or even the redness in my nose. But look how it starts blending. It almost, think of it as magic. It should start fading away, okay? I can go in. Oh, Cindy, that's a great idea. Yeah, the kinetic contouring device is a great way to treat those wrinkles and crinkles. Hey, Zandra. Good morning. Good morning, Veronica. And Sean says, I'm also trying to use the blush Plum, and it doesn't seem to want to come out in the bottle. I squeezed the bottle with both hands, finally got some out. Is that normal? So let me talk about that. That's a great, y'all are asking some great questions, and keep them coming. So with that, now, do y'all see things starting to disappear? Like, as you're looking at me, you see me moving this around, you should be like, what is she doing? Because you shouldn't see it come out. I can focus on that little dot. Come back here. I know I have some sunspots down here I need to take care of. So this is my pre-coverage. So I'm making those passes, only focusing on the areas that I have issues with, right? Okay. So that's all I'm going to do for my pre-coverage. Do I need to cover it 100%? No. Why? Because I still have my blush. I still have my contouring. I still have my foundation to put on. And so each one of those is going to give me some coverage, right? Now, think about this. If we did this with traditional makeup, I would do my concealer, then put my foundation on, and I'm rubbing stuff off. But because we're not touching our face and airbrushing, there's nothing to rub off, so that coverage is staying. Plus the fact you're not pulling on your face, right? Does that make sense? Doesn't it seem silly how we put concealer on with traditional makeup and then we put traditional makeup on top of that and we're rubbing it all together? Well, with airbrush, you're not touching it. So it's perfect. All right, so now let's talk about, I'm actually going to do some contouring with the with my bronzer, the matte bronzer right now. And so my eyes are watering right now too. So I'm going to do the matte bronzer, Now I haven't used this in a while, so I do want to make sure that I shake it up. Now, if it is something you haven't used in a while, or if you're having the issue with like a blush or something not coming out, what you want to do, because sometimes this will happen if it's a product you haven't used in a while, but makeup can get stuck in here, in this tip, and that's why it is not coming out. So if that's the case, shake this guy off. Okay, I just shook him off. Soak it in warm water, and that's going to dilute the makeup that's built up in there, and you'll be golden. You'll be ready. You can rinse it off and then pop it back in, and then you're good to go. So sometimes it also depends on if the pigment's heavier, but I find that happens in some of my blushes that maybe I don't use on a regular basis. The pigment to plum might be a little bit heavier, and so that can happen. So just know that you can. All right, so now I put my matte bronzer. Now see how, or is this the, oh yeah, it is matte. Look how dark that is, guys. See, it's, I mean, it would definitely show up, but you're going to see how light I'm spraying with this bronzer. Okay. Making my moves first. See how light, guys? Look, that's the color, but I'm spraying super light. Get my chin. Make sure that goes away. It looks like you only do it in the middle of your forehead. It looks like you only do it in the middle of. So Joan, if you were talking about what I was doing before, I was doing my pre-coverage. That wasn't my foundation. And so I just sprayed a little bit on my forehead to kind of blend everything together. I haven't done the foundation yet. So right now I am only going over certain areas. All right. So now I have my contouring on. Still haven't done foundation, right? So I'm going to spray the rest of that out. And then let's see what this one is. This one is the Plum Blush, which I think this is one I need to soak. Look like they are in one spot and two. So Joan, on the if you're talking about the infomercial, what happens? Let me start. So when you are doing the foundation, you want to be 4 finger widths away. If you are focusing on one area, and I'm about to do that with the blush, I'm going to come in to about 3 fingers. Okay. Now it can also look a little deceiving on camera when you think you're close and you're not that close. And that happens sometimes. So, oh wait, I didn't even check. So this one needs to be soaked, so I can pop that top off and soak it, but I'm just going to put a couple of drops with the Plum Blush right in there. Pop that back on and set this guy out so I remember to do that. And then I'm doing my blush first, because if you've used our blush, you know that it is high pigmented. A little bit goes a long way. So you only want to use 2 drops. I'm using my blush first because after the blush, I can do the foundation and it's going to blend everything together. So taking my blush, coming in a little closer, making my movements first. I can come in. And that way, if I do get a little blush happy, I can even do it on my lids. Like that. And you can, if you have a second, you can, if I needed to move that around, I can tap that out. So anytime you're going in a little bit closer, it's going to be more precise. So when I do eyes, when I do my cheeks, I do come in a little bit closer, but foundation, you want to be about 4 finger widths away. So like if I got that little hot spot right there, all I have to do is tap it out and it's blended. How cool is that? There's no way of making mistakes. because you can, if you make a mistake, if you get or what we call a hot spot, then all you have to do is tap it out because it's a little bit too wet, and then you can tap it out and into place. So, all right, now I'm going in with my foundation. Good morning, Imperfect Lioness. How are you? Mixing the blushes is also great. It is great. Okay, I am using, and I'm changing. Usually I go to the rose, but I am going to use the Silk 4-in-1 Shade 3, 030. Putting my drops in. And remember, the Silk 4-in-1 or the Enhanced 4-in-1 is going to give you sheer to medium coverage. And then the Rose 4-in-1 will give you the medium to full. So I start in one spot. When I'm getting to the foundation, I'm starting in one spot. And then I just make one complete pass. Oh, yay! Imperfect Lioness received her breeze this morning. That's always fun. Okay, that's one pass. Now, I still want my cheeks blended a little bit more. So I'm still going to go over and make passes around those areas. The great thing about Luminess is you don't have to make the same passes everywhere. I don't need the same coverage everywhere on my face. You cover what you need to cover and blend the rest. Now see how soft the blush and the contouring look? It will soften it a little bit more. So depending on how much you like your blush, you can soften it or keep it bright. And if you're doing it first and you do it a little bit too much and you're like, I can't even see the blush now, you can even add another drop and put blush on right over that. So there's a lot of different ways you can do it. But as far as contouring goes, as far as coverage goes, you can come in a little bit closer to focus on those problem areas, but you're still going to spray super light. You're going to keep that stylus moving or keep the breeze moving. So I have quite a bit of coverage. Nothing. See it? That is how quick it's going to dry. It should pretty much dry on contact. But if you're not there, that's okay. Every time you're going to use it, you're going to get better and better. So now I'm going to finish with my Dusty Rose lip liner, which we know is my go-to. I cannot live without this Dusty Rose. Go back and forth. But see, with coverage with Airbrush, it makes it so easy because we're not rubbing it away. And that's what happens a lot of times. And I'm topping it with our lip jelly. But that's what happens a lot of times when you do like try to cover something with traditional, you're rubbing it away. And so with Airbrush, it's like little dots and you're getting your coverage by making those light passes. I'm pulling trigger back to the first line, but definitely don't get the long trigger. Oh, I gotta refill. Wait a minute. So, okay, show if you're having issues with the spraying, here's what I want you to do. I don't want to mess that one up because I want to use that one. Is get a paper towel, fold it like this in fourths. And then if you have a stylus or if you have the breeze, put 5 drops. 5 drops. Count your drops. Put the 5 drops in here. And then sorry, I choked. Then start your movements and then pull back on the trigger. What I want you to do, or what you'll see, is you're pulling back on the trigger, and something's coming out and you don't realize it. And so this way it does show you that, oh, I didn't even think I was pulling back and something's coming out. And so that will help you visualize it. So try that and see how long you can make those 5 drops last. The other thing I would do after that, after you try that a few times, is put your 8 drops in here. Now this is just practice alone, but put your 8 drops in here, start in one spot and then make your passes. Don't worry about the coverage or the color or anything like that, but see how long you can make those 8 drops last by making full passes all over, your whole entire face. Okay. And that will help. But doing it on the paper towel really does help. I don't worry about the line necessarily. One, I can't see it. I would have to put my glasses on to see it. But if you're doing it on the paper towel, you're really going to see that, oh, something is coming out. And you're not, and that way you're not having to worry about that line and keep going. So just do it on the paper towel so you can visualize it and it clicks in your mind. And then that makes it a little bit easier. Okay. But don't worry if you're getting sick, like maybe you're getting 5 passes or maybe you're getting 3 passes. That's okay. But every time you have this in your hand, you're going to learn every single time. Okay. All right. Let's see. I also ordered some of the Click and Play eyeshadows. Oh, our Click and Play eyeshadows are amazing. I love the fact that you can order them individually or order the group or whatever. It's amazing. Amazing. We need to work on those too. So, all right, guys. Thank you so much. I'm going to finish up with some mascara and then I will be good for the day. Thank you so much for joining us. Yay. Oh, thank you so much. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. I will see you guys tomorrow. All right. Bye for now.